Hey guys, welcome back. It's Andrea at Create a Canvas. Thanks for coming today. I have a really fun activity for you. We're going to be doing bubbles today. So bubbles are really fun to draw because they're really colorful and bright. A lot of people think of bubbles and they think they're clear and see-through, but actually you see a lot of color in bubbles, and that's the reflection of the light and everything that's surrounding you that gives them the colors that you see. So if you have some bubbles at home, I want you to go outside, take a little time, blow some bubbles, look at them, explore them, check out what you see, and then come back and do this video because it'll help you a lot if you actually see what I'm talking about ahead of time. So when you're ready, what you're going to need some circles to trace, all different sizes. I like tape rolls because you could use the inside and the outside and you get different sizes. You can use small plates or bowls or like the pots from outside you can trace. Bottles or cups. There's tons of different things you can trace for circles that are all different sizes. So go ahead and find yourself some circles. You're going to need a pencil, and we're going to be using oil pastels today. So you need a set of oil pastels, and we're going to be doing this on black paper. The reason we use black paper for oil pastels is because it makes the colors pop. It makes them really bright. And oil pastels are basically, it feels like using a crayon, but you could actually blend the colors together a little bit. So that's kind of fun. And I want you to explore with your pastels on another sheet of paper and see the different things you can do with them. All right, so hopefully you've had a chance to go outside and play with some bubbles and watch them and do cool things with them. Did you know that there's actually people who have a job called a bubbleologist? And when I was in elementary school, a bubbleologist came to my school and did all these really cool tricks. And I knew then that that's what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be a bubbleologist. Life happened. I'm not a bubbleologist, but I'm going to draw some for you. So I guess, win-win. So let's get our circles ready, and you are going to, all over your paper, draw a bunch of different size circles. So you're going to use your pencil, and I like to use a white colored pencil on black paper, but if you have a regular pencil, that's just fine. And you're just going to go around your circles. Make sure you hold your circles down tight so they don't move on you as you're tracing. And I want you to kind of challenge yourself to overlap a few. You want to overlap some of our circles. So just take some time right now. I'm just going around with my tape, different sizes of tape, and drawing all different sizes of circles on my paper. With the tape, do the inside and the outside, so you get way different sizes. Done with my tapes, I'm going to go on to a bottle. I know that's a little bit different size. You can do as many or as few bubbles as you want, but it's kind of fun to do them, and it looks really cool when it's all done. So I think if you overlap them and you make sure you have a good amount of bubbles, you'll have a nice, colorful piece of art when you're done. Okay, so right now I've drawn about 10-ish bubbles. I haven't counted them specifically, but about that many, and I have some overlapping and some not overlapping. You could also use another fun one as the lids of your bottles. They're even smaller, so you can get smaller circles. You could use quarters, pennies, nickels, dimes, all different sizes. See, it's amazing. Use your tools that you have around you, and you can be creative with what you use. All right, so there's my circles. I did a bunch of circles, all different sizes, all over my paper. Okay, now what we're going to do is you're going to find your white pastel. If you don't have a white pastel, because you probably used it up, you use a lot of white when you're pasteling, and same thing with crayons. You usually use up your white crayon or you lose your white crayon. Don't do it, they're really important. So first thing we're going to do with our white, if you don't have a pastel, you can do this with a white colored pencil or a white crayon. You're going to outline all those circles that you just drew, but pay attention because when things overlap, you want to make sure that you don't go through another circle. You want it to look like it's overlapping. So like right here, I wouldn't go through this bottom part of the circle. I'm going to come over it with the bigger circle. So pay a little bit of attention, and you can always go back later and erase your pencil marks. but we don't want multiple lines going through our overlaps. So right now we're just outlining with a white pastel or a white crayon or a white colored pencil. We're going right over those circles that we just traced. And then what we're going to do is the reflection mark. So something that a lot of people who like to draw, they probably do this in, like if you're drawing balloons, if you're drawing a glass, if you're drawing anything clear, there's always the reflection of light, no matter what. That's what makes it, you be able to see it because there's a reflection. Otherwise, clear means it's invisible. So they all have what's like a reflection mark on them. So basically what that looks like, we're going to call it a reflect. And it's kind of like a smiley face, the shape of a smiley face, but it's going to go in different places in all your bubbles. So there's no rule right now to where your reflection or your reflect mark goes, but I want you to go through each bubble. The bigger bubbles should have a bigger reflect mark, and the smaller bubbles have a smaller reflect mark. Oops, I forgot one. Check all your bubbles, make sure they're all there. So I went through and I did that reflection mark with my pastel on all my bubbles. Okay, this is where the fun part happens. Now we get to start adding some color. So what we're going to start doing is you're going to pick a variety of colors. I'm just going to start with blue, purple, and maybe a teal color. And everyone has different colors in their set. You can just pick, we're maybe going to do 2 this color, then we'll switch different colors, so you can really do it whatever colors you want. But what we're going to do is right around the edges, right inside the color, the white line we just did, you're going to color a fine line right inside the edge of the different colors. And you're going to go around and do that on all your bubbles. And they can be all different colors. Basically what I'm going to do maybe 3 bubbles with these 3 colors. And then I'll switch my color scheme to another few colors. Or I might want to keep some blue. And so you can just kind of get creative with what colors you want to put. Then, before you get too far, when it's all over, when you're finished doing all the colors in there, the best part about doing pastels is blending it with your finger. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on one side of your bubble, and you're just going to take your finger and you're going to rotate it all the way over the 3 colors that you just did. And you can go back and forth a couple times, and it gets the colors to blend together. Makes it look translucent. Okay, so go ahead and start doing your bubbles. I'm going to do 3 of this color, and then I'm going to switch to another color. And if you're feeling inspired and you need a bubble break, go outside, blow some more bubbles. Who doesn't love bubbles? I remember that bubbleologist I was telling you about. I couldn't believe my eyes. He brought 3 kids from the school up onto the stage, and he made them stand inside of a hula hoop. And he took the hula hoop with a huge bubble and went over them and then closed the bubble, and they were all inside the bubble. Try to do that. I don't know how he did, to this day. I don't know how he did it and kept the bubble closed with kids inside of it. It like blew my mind. Another thing he did is, and this is kind of this, once he showed us how to do it, I wish I had bubbles or I'd show you how, but I'll describe it, is bubbles stick to each other. So as long as they're still floating, you can blow another bubble and it's going to stick to the last bubble you blew. So what he did is he'd blow a bubble and then he'd catch it, and then he'd blow another bubble, and then on the same thing he would catch that same bubble, he'd blow another bubble, catch the 3rd bubble, and eventually he had like this huge pile of bubbles that he had just blown and collected basically, and that was really cool too. So that's another fun thing you could do. All right, so I switched my color scheme. I went to some red, orange, yellow. And this next one I'm going to throw a little bit of green in here. Switch it up a little bit. I'm a super colorful person, as you can tell by my studio. But I like to add as many bright colors as possible into my art. These colors make me happy. Okay, so you can see, you're going to keep going. You're going to do all around your edges of all your bubbles with different colors, and then eventually you're going to have a page of bright, beautiful, layered bubbles. And then you go blow some more bubbles outside and try to do those tricks I just told you. All right, I'll see you guys soon. I hope you had fun. Bye, guys.